Hey, well, welcome to another episode of the Perry Homes podcast. We haven't done one for a while, and I'm a little kind of disheveled because my co-host Trevor is actually producing. So you can't see him; he's behind doing it. So thank you, Trevor. And but we haven't done one for a while, but we felt it was really important for us to do one. We have picked up a really important cause for us, and it's really taken fire on Perry Homes and all of our subcontractors, and we'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing. But I've got three really powerful, important guests that I want to introduce. It's Holly and Preston and Mo, and I don't know I know you, Waddington. I don't even know your last name. Preston Cochrane and Mo. I don't know.
Egan.
What is it?
Mo Egan.
Mo Egan.
Yep.
So, anyway, we'll get into this and do some introductions, but this is about a cause for homelessness. And as a home builder, this is really important to me, and for Perry Homes and the Perry companies, it is turning out to be really an important and meaningful cause that we are really getting behind and going to support. So I'll just do some introductions, and Holly, if you want to start and tell us a little bit about Homemade and how that works in with the Other Side Village, and we'll just go from there.
Yes, thank you for having us today.
You're welcome.
I love any opportunity to be in the same room with great people working for a great cause. At Homemade, I've actually served with Homemade for probably going on 6 years now, most recently serving as the board president. In January, now serving as the past president. Thank you, Eric Allen, for stepping in. But what we
Eric's
do,
great, right?
Yes,
I love Eric.
I know.
Yeah, he's good.
We are so excited to have you on the board now and Perry Homes in the backing. So what we do at Homemade, we take our building community, we come together and find service providers who are helping those experiencing homelessness, and we take all of our specialties of construction and all of the trades, and we come in and help bring that to help build out the facilities. We leave all of the services up to the experts, but we come in and do what we know best. Homemade was a really easy fit for me because I'm doing what I know best and can help alleviate a problem that is very near and dear to my heart. And having Perry Homes come in on this project has been such a beautiful thing. The tour out there has been amazing. And it's those kind of moments at Homemade where you're like, oh my gosh, just seeing the goodness in people, the goodness that these service providers are doing, and that we're able to come in. Every dollar that comes into Homemade, for $1 that comes into Homemade, we're able to leverage our network and turn it into $3 so that we're saving the service providers money and they can keep their money doing what they do best and helping
great.
provide the services. Yeah.
So Homemade really is kind of a fundraising, organizing, coordinating organization, and then you help support and provide funding and backing to the providers that actually are doing the services.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So again, as home builders, we know how to build. We know how to build homes. We know how to build facilities. So that's where we stick to. And so we are able to come in. We've been able to build out several of the homes in the first phase of the Other Side Village, and so we're providing those walls for these individuals to restart their lives. The Other Side Village has been such an important partner with us. We love what they're doing. We love the progress they made, the second chances that they're giving. It's something incredible to be a part of.
So great. We won't get into it, but for someone who has had a couple of second chances in my life, right, the thought of second chances really gets me, right, deep down. And so to hear you say that language is really important. So let's kind of transition now to, well, first of all, let me just say that, Holly, you've done a great job of coordinating the whole builder community, right?
Thank you.
We've known each other and known about each other for 20 years,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And the way that you have grabbed 20 or 30 builders and helped focus them into a group that can really do some good instead of having them do 30 different things. So
You are very sweet to say that. It is the Homemade platform. That really is what we are about. So Homemade Utah is one of 20 chapters across the United
that's right.
States.
It's a national. Okay.
Yes, so a national nonprofit, and that is what it's about. It's bringing everybody's expertise to the table. And when we're in those board meetings, we are
So
not
great.
competitors there. We are all there to bring our network and our resources to help these service providers do what they're doing best. We want to support them. We want better communities. We are very fortunate that we get to build homes for individuals, homeowners coming through, and to be able to use those expertise to help those who are looking for that second chance and need a leg up. Like you said, we've all have experienced that, and to be able to help give back is amazing.
So great. Thank you.
Thanks.
So let's transition now, Preston, to you. So Homemade helps raise funds and do stuff, but you're, as the Other Side Village, it's really an independent nonprofit. If you maybe can give us a little bit of,
Sure.
of your background and the Other Side Village background, and then we'll turn it over to our rock star over on the end, and we'll get Mo involved.
He's our lead singer.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting backstory on Homemade. So back in 2017, Homemade Utah wasn't a chapter yet, and Scott Simons and Peter Simons and Scott Stoll came to Salt Lake City, and I met them early on, and they said we're starting a chapter, and they were talking about homelessness, and I was in a different role at the time, and so I met them, and they said we're going to start this chapter. We're going to start with this, and so that goes back quite a ways. I think we're now on our third director at Homemade, I think, since then. But the Other Side Village is just so honored to be a part of what Homemade Utah has done. And I think Homemade Utah is really just a model to other chapters in the country of how you collaborate and how you bring people together. And we like to say it takes a village to build a village.
Oh, I love it.
In whatever you do, whatever capacity you're in. So for those who don't know, the Other Side Village is a nonprofit organization. Our sister organization is the Other Side Academy, which has been around a little bit longer than we have. But the Other Side Village is a master plan community that is a community of healing and purposeful living designed for individuals that are coming out of chronic homelessness. And on the west side in Poplar Grove, we are just finishing phase 1 of the Other Side Village, which when we're done will house about 500 residents.
Oh my gosh.
And
Gives me chills. Yeah.
these are individuals who would otherwise be in and out of shelters on the street and just trying to survive. And we have 60 homes that are just about being completed, with the addition of Perry Homes coming on and doing a record-breaking, in a couple of weeks that they'll have that done. And so we're excited for that. But we have residents, we call them villagers. They live in the village. The village also has a lot of on-site wraparound supportive services, including a medical clinic, a community center, and so forth. The unique model about the Other Side is we operate social enterprises, and that's intentional in terms of how we raise money for our organization. So unlike most nonprofits who get grants and funding and donations and things like that, we do that too, but to offset a lot of those costs, our goal is to be completely self-sustaining and self-sufficient, so that we can continue to provide the services that we do at no cost.
Hey, can I jump in here, Preston?
yeah.
So just yesterday, we hired the Other Side Movers.
The best.
What-
Absolutely the best.
We had to move a couple of model homes, right? They're fully furnished. So these guys showed up at 8. They were there till 6 p.m. So respectful, so we're prepared. Matter of fact, Brandon, I don't know if you met. Brandon called me and said, "Steve, these movers, they're the best we've ever had. They would load something and run back to the house."
Yeah.
And such a great funding model. They provided a professional service for us that we would have paid for anyway. And then you take those funds and operate
Our
operation.
programs.
It
Yeah.
really is a brilliant model.
So, and the model of the revenue, of course, that generates operational funding. It's really the moving company is a white glove service, and rated
Five-star reviews.
rated the number one
They-
moving
they-
company
they were
year after
sensational.
year after year. And so we take that same model for the village and apply it to our population. So we started with the Other Side Donuts. We brought some here today for you to enjoy, and that's a donut shop at 760 South Redwood Road.
Oh, so great.
And then we're opening a second store next month at 60 First South downtown.
Oh, no kidding.
So those social enterprises are really a classroom. It's really the incubator where the students and the individuals in our programs not only learn dignity and purpose and skills, but they learn how to interact with the public and with each other. And so we're all imperfect people. And so how do we help lift each other up and teach people those skills so that they can be transferable, whether it's within our own social enterprises or and other companies that want to hire our folks. And it's just a really unique model. The Other Side Village does accept government funding for capital and infrastructure, so like the homes that we're building
Gotcha.
and you're building, in terms of buying all the materials. and things like that. But as far as operational funding, usually if you're taking that from state or federal, there's a lot of strings attached. And so it allows us to be more flexible in how we operate.
Gotcha. Love it. Sounds great. So thank you. So we've got Perry Homes works with Homemade. Homemade gets all the building community together.
Homemade's the broker,
the
really, right?
They're the broker. They're the central nervous system. And then Other Side Village actually builds a community, which is so brilliant. Because just throwing money at this or building a house, that's not the answer, right? It's the village.
We like to say you can't start with the roof, right? You've got to build the foundation. The foundation being the behavior of someone that has been on the street for so long. We got to focus on those root causes. What's kept someone in that cycle for so long? And we've got to break that cycle and build a strong enough foundation so that then we can start working on putting the walls up. Then we can build the roof and then patch any leaks along the way.
Such a great analogy. Well, Preston, could you introduce Mo and give us a little background?
I would love to introduce Mo.
We'll turn some time over to him.
Yeah, Mo Egan is Maurice, or Mo as we call him, is our director of recruiting for the Other Side Village. Mo is just someone who has been there, done that, been down that road before, and what I call or term, he's a professional BS detector, so he can identify when someone's ready for our program, when they're not ready. And I'll let Mo, tell him about himself and just his journey here. But I get to see Mo in action every day, and it gives me chills just thinking about it.
Great, Mo. If you just want to kind of tell your story and maybe and then a little bit how you fit in and what your role is at the Other Side Village, we'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity first, and then also want to thank you guys for just the resources and the opportunities and the homes that you provide, right? And on our end, we want to make sure that once somebody is recruited off the streets that's homeless, either they're struggling with mental health and not able to get stabilized on their medications, or drug addiction, displaced veterans, chronic homelessness, you name it. We want to make sure when they do move in that home that they know how to keep it and maintain it, right? So many times we have a system where folks are given housing vouchers, right? And that's good. I believe in housing first, but you got to take it across the finish line, right? And so I'll use myself as an example. I had plenty of housing vouchers when I was homeless in the Tenderloin District for 10 years, smoked drugs for over 20 years. And when they gave me that housing voucher, people were pretty much saying, oh, great job, problem solved. Mo has now got housing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I remember being in that place and just white knuckling, just something in my gut saying, you're going to relapse and fail again. And that's exactly what happened. But, in hindsight, looking back, I was never taught, how am I going to keep it and maintain it, right? And so you've done your job on your end, provided the resources in the homes. Now it's up to us to make sure that this person, once they come through our program, our homeless prep school first, right? That's where we're going to get you stabilized, right? Because the whole thing is for you to end up being permanently housed, self-sufficient, drug-free, crime-free, employed. If that's not your outcome that you want at the beginning, then nothing else matters, right? And so that's what we do. And so we basically recruit people off the streets. In Salt Lake City, we get people from homeless shelters. You got people staying in grandma's, extra room, and grandma and grandpa are spending all kinds of money for these folks because they have no idea what to do, right? And so we'll get them in a detox, right? And I want people to know that detox absolutely works. It's a great opportunity. The gap is when, after you're detoxed, you're released back into a homeless shelter, toxic relationship, right? And I just think that is a misuse of our resources, right? And so we're doing something different, right? We're doing something different than what they're doing around the country. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get you into a detox. I'm going to stay in contact with your case manager and make sure to follow up with you. After a couple weeks, depending on what drug you're detoxing from, sometimes it's 3 to 5 days, sometimes it's a couple weeks, right? But once you're released, we're not letting you leave there. You're coming to our homeless prep school,
So great.
right? We want to
You
make
have
sure
a place
that
to go,
momentum keeps
not,
going.
Not back to the toxic environment you came
I'm
from.
not doing that. Absolutely. So once we get you to our prep school, we're going to assign you a coach. And all of our coaches have lived experience. We're just 5, 10, 15, 20 years removed from that life, right? And we're going to figure out what are some of the blind spots you've missed over the years.
Hey, Mo, can I jump in here just talking
Absolutely.
about your coaches? One of the most powerful things when I visited the other side village, you have those two pictures, right? You guys know the ones I'm talking about. When I first walked in, there's the picture of 6 people that they look pretty rough. And then on the other side, there's a picture of 6 people. And as you look at both of these, you're like, I think that's the same group of people. But it's people that have been homeless, that came through your program, that are now coaches. That to see the change, and we talked about, Camille's not here, but Camille talked about you can see the light in their eyes.
Absolutely.
So anyway, just when you said
That changes
coaches,
the
Mo,
dynamic.
that really got me to see
Absolutely.
this is how people can change.
So that lived experience is pretty important because the dynamic that exists today is that you're in a program or something, you're sitting across from a counselor or a clinician or a therapist, and the dynamic is, I'm over here, I'm here to fix you, right? I could never relate to that dynamic, but if you put somebody across from me that was a former drug addict, went through the judicial system, incarceration, and all different types of programs, made it through and it's on the other side, I'm going to be able to relate to that all day, every day. Right?
I think it's important to mention, not everyone needs detox, right? They may have, they're suffering from a mental illness and something that's just kept them in that mindset. And so they might be over-medicated, they might be under-medicated, whatever the case may be, but we meet them where they're at. And when they talk to Mo or any one of our coaches, really we're trying to build trust with them because for so
From the
many
very
of them,
beginning.
so many of them just mistrust and they've been duped, over and over and maybe don't trust the system or whatever it might be. And so it's really just trying to, as we like to say, recalibrate their moral compass.
Love it.
But help them think about, do I really want to continue living like this?
The way you guys do it too, nobody else does it. It's very important for us as Homemade when we're taking in these donations. People want to know, hey, am I just donating to something that I'm putting a Band-Aid on the system? And so it's so great for us to partner with individuals like yourselves, what you guys are doing, because you're getting at the root cause, you're fixing it, you're really actually changing lives. Your guys' numbers have been recognized all over the nation. I know you guys are constantly being sought after to come teach. Hey, you guys are obviously doing something different and it's working. Help us help these individuals around us. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, you're doing it by being around our model and understanding our model, because a lot of people don't understand there is something different that actually works. It's not a 30, 60, 90-day program. That's one of the things that I wish the community and the country would get over, is that if you got a person that's been, a drug addict, alcoholic in the criminal systems for 5, 10, 15, 20 years or more, and you say that you go to the judge and the judge says, I'm going to sentence you to a 30, 60, 90-day program, that's absolutely ridiculous to think that after smoking drugs for 20 years, I'm going to be fine after 30 days. So we can get over that and understand that it does take longer. It takes longer. Right?
So from the foundation, the whole approach is just completely different than what has been done in the past.
It is, and you give an opportunity for a person to look, you screwed up your life, now you come into this organization, you're now part of the solution, not the problem. Because we've mixed entrepreneurship with recovery and rehab. You need the opportunity to participate in your own recovery. No longer can the community and citizens say, I'm paying for you to get well. No, you're paying it for yourself, and you're also paying it forward for the next person by participating in our social enterprise businesses
So powerful.
as well.
And accountability and compassion go hand in hand. You can do it in a respectful and dignified manner. And the accountability piece, we operate on a rigid accountability model. So we call it 200% accountability. I'm 100% accountable for me and my actions, but I'm also 100% accountable for all of you. And so if you're doing something and I see it and I don't say something, I'm just as guilty as you
That's
are.
on me.
So
Gotcha.
we gotta hold each other up, lift each other up, pull each other up, and make sure that we're equal across the board.
I love that you guys hold them accountable for changing, but I love that you hit on the word compassion. I wanted to hit on that for just a minute. I think it's so easy. especially prior to me getting involved with Homemade, there's a stigma that's easy to pass on those experiencing homelessness. Oh, they're choosing to do drugs. They're choosing to do this path. When we went out with Perry Homes, we had the opportunity to talk with some of your villagers there. They were sharing their stories, and it was so interesting. I won't name names of the individuals, but someone from your group actually had a connection with this individual, knew them prior. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get emotional. It was so touching. Knew this individual prior to her ending up homelessness, and there was a mental issue that was going on because of some horrible trauma that had happened in her childhood. And a member from your team was like,
I don't think they would mind. It was Tyler Perry.
Yes, Tyler.
Talking to Kathy.
Yes, and you would have, he's like, you would have never known that she would have gone through all of this, and then, but she's owning it now. She's has full support, 200% accountability. But when you're hearing those stories and you're meeting with them, you're able to come with so much compassion too. And all of us, I'm fortunate I haven't had to deal with these mental issues or the same trauma that she had when growing up. And we don't know somebody's story. And even if they did make a mistake, we all make mistakes. And I'm grateful my mistakes haven't been big enough that they've turned it to a point where I've had to do so much turning around in my life. So it was an amazing experience when we were all out there.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's a perfect example that this is not an asset issue. It goes way deeper than that. This is not something where you can come fix and say, okay, here's a job, right? Here's housing. There's some underlying behavioral issues that needed to be addressed. Those are the underlying issues that cause you to be homeless, wilding out, addicted to drugs, out in the streets. This is why the American dream is not on the table. It's behavior issues. Can't just say, hey, here's some assets. We're going to throw housing. We're going to throw therapy. We're going to throw this. It doesn't work that way. You got to get to the underlying issue, which is behavior.
So today, every other Thursday, downtown library, we hold what's called Village Connect. It's a way for us to introduce our model and our offering to anyone that's interested. So, you just came from there.
Yeah,
We
had a
haven't
Village
even
Connect
downloaded
class
on
today.
how it went, how many people show up, but it's every week. You might get 5 people, you might
Yeah.
get 30 people. So, I mean, what is that like?
Yeah, well, the one question I always ask, I always pick a person out and say, okay, if you had the job or the housing, would you be okay? Could you just leave right now? And they're like, yeah. And I said, well, pump your brakes a little bit. What kind of jobs have you had in the past, few years? I've had a couple good jobs. I've had housing. Housing and employment is not your issue. Our offer is we're going to teach you how to keep it and maintain it. How do I show up for myself, right? How do I become a decent person in the community? How do I now become a leader and a mentor in the community? So we get to the root causes of it. And some people are in there, and the reason why they're still on the streets is because they've gone to the 30, 60, 90-day programs. It's going about 5, 6, or 7 of them, right? And it ends the same way. They failed and relapse. And so they just come to the conclusion, why would I go to another program? Why would I subject myself
gonna be the
to
same
something that hasn't worked? And so we have the Village Connect classes to let them know, hey, this is something different. This is more than a 5 and 10% success rate. We're hovering at over 70% success rate. So it is something different, but you have to explain it to them because they think it's another program. I'm going to go in here, sit down, smoke cigarettes, tell horror stories, graduate, having changed nothing.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention too, the homes themselves, the ones that you're building. This is lifelong. This is permanent supportive housing. This is a place where they feel that it's their own house, right? It's not just another apartment that they're in and trying to not worry about all the chaos that might be surrounding them, and they're maybe trying to avoid that situation or that environment in general. And so here's a way they come in, and it's always so cool. You'll see this when you hand them the keys and they walk in for their first day. And
I
they're
can't
like,
wait.
wow, this is where I'm going to be living, and the village is a forever home for those that want it.
Which is so great. This is not just a temporary way station. This is your home. And these people, this is your community. I had, during the holidays, I had this moment I just had this really interesting, I had some aunts and uncles, aunts and nieces and nephews, and my grandbaby, and I looked around and I thought, I belong here. And I feel like that feeling you're creating, and if I can we're creating, people can be at a place to say, I belong here.
Yeah.
And then what comes with that is a whole set of expectations and behaviors. And I'm going to hold myself, because I belong, I'm going to hold myself accountable.
You're going to fight for that community.
I want to fight.
it's-
Thank you, Mo. I'm going to fight for that community.
The word belonging means so much to what we do. Because if you think about, let's just say hypothetically today, you wake up tomorrow morning and everything that you know is gone. Your house is gone. Your ID is gone. You don't have transportation. You don't have any money in your pocket. Nothing. What do you do? Who do you call?
Yeah.
You probably have a network. I'm sure you have a very big network. And you can call people and say, hey, I'm going through this. Can you come help me? Imagine not having that network, not having that belonging or feeling like you have a community that's going to wrap their arms around you and surround you and then really try to help you out of whatever it is you're going through.
I think you're right. I think Kathy told us, Holly, this oftentimes is a catastrophic failure of community.
Yeah.
And all
Family and
like community, all the
Isolation
support
factor.
groups, and
Yep.
you're isolated, and you have that what you just described would terrify me, to wake up and not have that, and to have no one, like, I have people to call. You guys have, to not have that would be terrifying. So
Mo has a pretty interesting story of what got you. So Mo went to a replication called Delancey Street, which is what the academy is based after.
in Mimi
in San
Silver,
Francisco,
in
yeah,
San
Mimi
Francisco.
Silver, yeah.
Her book is fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mo's a graduate of Delancey Street.
Oh
but
my gosh, Mo, we'll have to. I would love to
Yeah,
pick your brain about
absolutely.
How did you get to Delancey Street?
Oh man. Well, my uncle in 4th grade taught me how to roll weed, smoke weed, and sell weed, and that's what I did in
that.
4th grade.
Stop. 4th grade.
4th grade, which means
You're 10 years
4th
old.
grade kids were buying it,
Oh my gosh.
and I got caught and got
This is
sent
in-
home.
this is in East Oakland.
This is in East Oakland. I got caught and got sent home, and I walked to their doors. I thought there was going to be some kind of trouble. Nobody said anything. No reprimand. No nothing. And I took that to some places I wouldn't wish on anybody. Life of crime, drugs, you name it, right? And probably arrested over 20 times, 6 different programs, and finally on my last arrest, I don't know if I probably robbed, stole something where the police were chasing me, and they caught up to me, right? And roughed me up. I had that coming, and then when they rolled me over, I looked up, and the arresting police officer was my football coach, turned police officer. Couldn't run, couldn't hide, embarrassed, ashamed, couldn't do anything.
Now it's personal for you.
It's-
right?
it's personal,
Here's
right?
a guy that I've known and respected.
Yeah. And so he mentioned Delancey Street, and in jail facing new charges. I wrote a letter to Delancey Street. They came and interviewed me, and they accepted me, and they released me. I got off a 5-year prison sentence. They were getting ready to send me to San Quentin, right? And when I arrived at Delancey Street, I knew right away this is something different in those 30, 60, 90-day programs. The first 2 guys I saw were guys I used to run the streets with, drugs, alcohol, crimes, you name it. They beat me there. They were there 2 or 3 years. They were now leaders in the community, and they stepped to me and said, Mo, you don't have to be a drug addict, a criminal anymore. And we're going to grab your hand. We're going to walk you through this, and we're going to show you how to do it. We're not going to refer you to another agency for housing or therapy or jobs, whatever. Everything is going to happen under one roof. We're going to take responsibility for your entire journey. And that's where I got my life together. And it was a series of just correcting all those bad behaviors over the years.
And Mo was part of the group that came from there to start the Other Side Academy here in Salt Lake City. So the leadership of the academy is really organic and homegrown in terms of those that have come up through the program.
So great. Thank you for that. So Mo, you had, from the very first time, you had mentors, right? Call it a coach. You had
With
you were
lived
like,
experience.
I can do that, right? Instead of sitting
I can
across
see
from
it.
a clinician,
I can
it's
see
a
it.
whole different.
It's a whole nother dynamic.
Yeah. The other day we heard from one of our neighbors that's in our prep school, and he said, I won't forget when I was being interviewed, one of our coaches had said to him, you know what, I've used dirty needles too. I know what it's like. And right then he said, that's when I felt this kind of bond, like we've shared something, we know, we understand each other. So,
My life is not defined by what I've done in the past. The worst thing that I've done in the past is pretty much what they were saying.
and you look at someone like Mo today who, for those, we're all human, and we have that kind of unintentional ideological bigotry anytime we see someone maybe holding up a sign that's on the side of the road. But here's someone like Mo now who serves on the state homeless board. So that's a appointed position under the governor's office, and it's someone that has lived experience. So now he's able to give advice from his own journey to leaders that are making big decisions about how we approach this going forward.
Oh, I mean, you obviously were not dealt an easy card. That people don't have an uncle teaching them to do that at 10 years old.
Maybe how to ski or something like that, but
Yes.
Yeah,
And
right.
I love your example. I think I'm most inspired by people who have done this incredible change that I'm like, I don't know if I would have the strength to be able to turn around and do that, and that you're not allowing it to define you, and you're going on to help others
Absolutely.
around you and to advocate for that. It is so beautiful.
yeah, that's what we need in our system, and it just makes a huge difference that you're able to walk in and look at somebody across the table and say, you know what, they've been where I've been, and right now today they're where I want to be, right? And that person's going to guide you through that whole process. That's what this is all about. It's not pointing a finger or anything like that. It's just saying, you know what, we got a system, we got a model that helps, right? And even the current model that exists today, if we can begin to merge those together a little bit more, we'll see some better results here in Utah.
We can't continue to operate, from a 1980s playbook and how we apply it to today. Times have changed. Drugs on the street change a lot, and those side effects change a lot, and so we have to be able to keep up with it. And one of the unique things about our model is it's a democratic environment. Democratic meaning everybody that's a part of it has a vote, has a say in what goes on there. So it's really a flattened hierarchy in terms of decisions that are being made, policies that are being made, rules that are being made. You come in day one, you're a part of that. You have a say.
People are invested, right?
You got skin in the game.
You're not
Exactly
just
right.
telling me what I can do or can't do. I'm invested
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
making this happen for
Absolutely.
everyone.
Yeah,
It's a
we're
game
writing
changer.
the manual. You're a part of that. You're co-creating that
Oh
together.
my gosh, I love it. Well, listen, we probably ought to kind of wind things down, but.
I need to hit on
any
one
other-
more
yeah,
thing to
yeah,
spotlight
please,
you really
please.
quick,
No, of
and
course.
Perry Homes. So as Homemade, we had committed to building a certain number of units for you guys in that first phase. It's obvious listening and hearing the conversation, what a phenomenal program you guys have. Of course, we want to be a part of it. And we were down to our last unit, and the person that we had slotted for it pulled out, and you guys are telling us, you're like, this is our last home that we need in phase one. And so I had to go back to the drawing board. I'm like, who can I call? Who can pick up this project? And you and Perry Homes, it was an immediate yes. I don't think it's ever happened that quickly. It was such a blessing. And then to be able to go out there, and not only were you guys willing to do it, but then you guys are fully committing, donating all of it, which obviously then helps save costs for the other side village. And then talk about the timeline, too, that you're doing it in.
Well, this is exciting. So we saw these homes out here, and first of all, just let me do a couple of shout outs. I mean, thank you to the Perry family, right? They've been so generous for their whole lives, really starting with Bill Perry Sr. And they have really gotten behind us and are supporting us so we can do this as Perry Homes. Like we're a third of the Perry companies. And so first of all, just a shout out to the Perry family, right, that made this possible. And we got so excited. This is our, right, we know how to build homes. And when we saw these homes that were being built, we thought we can give back in something that we're good at. We want to do it. And instead of taking 2, 3, or 4 months, we thought, what if we build this thing in 2 weeks? I rolled it out to my guys. I said, we're building this thing in 2 weeks. They're like, oh, can we do this? So we talked about the timeline, and the whole company, including all of our subcontractors now, are really excited to be, okay, I have 1 day to frame this. I have 4 hours to do the plant, right? We're scheduling in half day increments. You have half a day to do your part because someone else is coming in at noon. So it'll be super exciting to start on a Monday. By the following Friday, it will be done. So
Talk about extreme home makeover.
it is a little bit of
Extreme home
makeover.
a home makeover.
Yeah.
And part of our thought is our subcontractors are getting behind it. Our company's getting behind it. We hope to create a little bit of buzz in the valley that we can highlight homemade, right? It's really nothing to do with Perry. We want to highlight homemade and highlight the other side village. If we can get a bigger buzz and get more exposure to that, it's just more people we can help. Absolutely. So that's thank you for kind of teeing that up for me.
Yeah,
But,
thank you for doing it.
well, in any final things as we close down this podcast?
Just thank you for your commitment and Homemade for all you're doing to help us put this vision into practice. And then, you've met a lot of the people. You'll continue to meet more, and it's a miracle when you look at the folks who would otherwise, who knows where they'd be if they weren't there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Mo, any final thoughts?
I just think it'd be a great connection. Like you said, we should highlight this thing, but it's a building. It's a house, yes, but I'm anxious to see the person that graduates and then gets to move into that house. That's the real highlight right there.
That'll be exciting.
Mo lives in the village.
It's so
So
great.
he's a mentor, and he's there to make sure people have the support they need.
Well, this has been really great and life-changing for so many people, and really giving us, we're in the for-profit sector, but giving us something that adds a real depth and meaning to what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for listening to another. This is kind of longer than we thought, and again, thank you to Trevor. You can't see him; he's behind the camera, but he'll do a lot of work in post editing and making this look great. So anyway, thank you all for listening.